Shalom to the royal family of Israel. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh and His mighty Son, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, and Mashiach, Yahushua. I want to give a salutation to all the mighty men, mighty women, and mighty children of Israel. And today's lesson is, China threatens to destroy America by fire.
Washington. When House Speaker Nancy Pelosi flew into Taiwan on an Air Force passenger jet Tuesday, she became the highest-ranking American official in 25 years to visit the self-ruled island. China announced military maneuvers in retaliation, even as Taiwanese officials welcomed her and she headed to her hotel. The reason her visit ratcheted up tension between China and the United States. China claims Taiwan is part of its territory, and it views visits by foreign government officials as them recognizing the island's sovereignty.
And we are waiting for China's next move after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi landed in Taiwan about an hour ago. They're 12 hours ahead now, so it is straight up midnight. So not a lot of movement now. They have driven the caravan or the motorcade down into subterranean parking in just the last few minutes. We watched that on the Faulkner Focus, and we will await for the next movements there by the Speaker of the House. Meanwhile, China's foreign ministry has released a statement just a few minutes ago, warning her visit is a, quote, serious violation and a major political provocation, and threatens the United States again. They've been doing it for days. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner. Speaker Pelosi is in the capital city of Taipei. She is the highest-ranking elected U.S. official to visit Taiwan in more than a quarter century. And a furious China is ratcheting up the threats against the U.S. It has just released that statement. Let's get into more of it. The United States, for its part, has been attempting to use Taiwan to contain China. It constantly distorts, obscures, and hollows out the One China principle, steps up its official exchanges with Taiwan, and emboldens Taiwan independence, separatist activities. These moves, like playing with fire, are extremely dangerous. Those who play with fire will perish by it.
So, you see, he said, if you play with fire, you will perish by fire. Moabites are absolutely the most arrogant group of people on the planet Earth. But who are the Moabites? In the Bible, they are known as Moab. I know most of you guys may be familiar with Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, that was a real thing, folks. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire by the Most High God because it was a lascivious, gross place that was full of homosexuals. And the Most High said no more. The only 3 people that made it out alive was Lot and his 2 daughters. Lot even offered them up, and they didn't want them. They rather have butt sex with angels than Lot's virgin daughters. At any rate, the daughters thought that they were the only ones left on the face of the earth, and they wanted to preserve humanity. And the only man that was around was their father Lot. But they knew that they were unable to get consent from their father to have sex. So they plotted a plan to get him drunk and essentially ancestrally rape their father. Let's get into this. Let me get the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 32. Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 32. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in, and lay with her father. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow, that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also. And go thou in, and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose, and lay with him. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites until this day. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon until this day.
So you see, the oldest daughter who got her father drunk is the mother of the Moabites. The Chinese, the Moabites are originally black.
People in Asia, Moabites and Ammonites, have the DNA of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was actually an Edomite man, a ginger, who went around whitening up the Moab and Ammon.
So when we say that they used to be black, folks, we really mean it. They used to be black. Here are images of ancient black Chinese. If you notice in the bottom left-hand corner, that man right there looks like Tyrese. More black Chinese. And you might be wondering, well, what happened to the black Chinese?
The Boxer Rebellion. Many people don't know what the Boxer Rebellion really, the true purpose of it was. It was to get rid of the remaining black Chinese that existed.
So, have an understanding, folks. The ancient Chinese are black. You guys used to be black. And then you whitened yourselves out. Let's find out the perils of the Moabites. Let me get the book of Isaiah chapter 16 verse 6. Read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 16 verse 6. We have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath, but his lies shall not be so.
Right now you have the Chinese, aka the Moabites, and they're doing military drills. And they're trying to intimidate. And they look at a world power who happens to be in possession of the second most inventory of nuclear weapons and say, if you want to play by fire, then you will perish by fire. Yeah, Babylon the Great will be going down by fire.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 48, verse 29. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud, his loftiness, and his arrogancy, and his pride, and his haughtiness of heart.
The problem with the Chinese is they want to be exactly like Babylon the Great. They envy Babylon the Great. They're very arrogant, and you can see it in their actions. They believe themselves to be more, like it's their destiny. Let me get the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 16. Read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 16. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord.
Now understand, the Lord said this right here. He said this about Esau. He said this about Esau. And now in Jeremiah, they're talking about Moab. Again, you always wanted to be like the Edomites. The Edomites are the ones that make their nest high as the eagle. They're the ones that have a space station sitting in lower orbit. It's them. And guess who else has a whole bunch of satellites up there? China. Supposedly China has a satellite behind the moon on the dark side of the moon. Let me get the book of Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3. Read.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou hast dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
And this is how you feel. Again, you want to be just like Esau. You say, who will bring me down to the ground? You don't think the Most High is high enough for you. And so you question, who shall bring me down to the ground? Yahweh will send his son. Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Wamala, Yahweh. He's going to bring you down to the ground. Let me get the book of Obadiah chapter 1 verse 4. Read.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Understand this thing, folks. That's why the Lord says that you guys are haughty and arrogant. You guys do have a lot of money. You do have a lot of influence right here in Babylon the Great, the country you want to be like so much. Do you know for you that China holds a large majority of debt of the United States of America right now? So they think that they can do and say whatever they want. Let me get the book of Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 8. Read.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 8. I have heard the reproach of Moab. and the revilings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people, and magnified themselves against their border.
And know this, folks. The children of Israel are the people of the Most High God. They afflicted us in the times of old. They're afflicting our people right now in China. Oh, you guys didn't know there were still black Chinese? Yeah, they didn't wipe them all out. There's a bunch of Israelites in China, folks. And if it was up to them, they would put us back in slavery today. Let me get the book of Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 10. Read.
The book of Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 10. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts.
The Lord is bringing punishment because of that pride that you have, folks. I'm talking about you, Moab. And the Most High is going to open up what is called a can of whoop ass and let you know what time it is. You ain't nothing but a wash pot. Let me get the book of Luke chapter 21 verse 8. Read.
The book of Luke chapter 21 verse 8. And he said, Take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, Nation shall arise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
So understand this, what the Most High's only begotten Son just said right here. But when ye hear of wars and commotion. So Nancy Pelosi, this witch, Edomite, Sheetamite, bag of bones witch, took a plane like she was a somebody, flew over to Taiwan, and now you got the country of China talking about they want to wage some war against us.
Why is the Speaker of the House, of all people, going to Taiwan? Like, for what?
Do you understand that there's a person in the cabinet known as the Secretary of State? That's the job of the Secretary of State, not the Speaker of the House. Your responsibility, you old bag of bones, is passing laws with your ignorant Congress. Pass laws. Pass laws for your ignorant people. That's not your job to go be a spokesman for the country. Let me get the book of Ezekiel chapter 25 verse 11. Read.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 25 verse 11. And I will execute judgments upon Moab, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
So here you got Moab talking about, and you shall perish by the fire. Okay, well, this is what the Lord said, and I will execute judgments upon Moab. Hey, what you think about that? Hey, Moab, what you think about that? Let me get the book of Jeremiah chapter 48 verse 47.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 48 verse 47. Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days, saith the Lord. Thus far is the judgment of Moab.
You guys are going to captivity. Let me get the book of Nehemiah chapter 13 verse 1. Read.
The book of Nehemiah chapter 13 verse 1. On that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever.
Do you see what the Lord said? And that's also for you idiot Christian Moabites and Ammonites. Sorry, the Lord said, not come into the congregation of Yahweh forever.
The book of Psalm chapter 60 verse 8. Moab is my wash pot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me.
Do you see what the Lord is saying? He said Moab is my wash pot. That's what you're going to be doing in the kingdom. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me. Moab is my wash pot. What you talking about? You gonna take somebody out with fire? Man, you gonna be washing dishes. Let me get the book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1. Read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
So Esau, Moab, Ammon, Hagarenes, Hittites, Hivites, Canaanites, you guys are all going to go into captivity. The Israelites are going to be your masters. That's your destiny. You ain't lighting nothing on fire but the stove, and that's it.
The book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 16. He has said, which heard the words of Yahweh and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes opened. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheph. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemy. And Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city.
This is talking about Yahweh Ba'ashem HaMashiach Yahweh. This is Yahweh. A star out of Jacob. You fools call him Jesus. Don't call him Jesus no more. It's Yahweh. Especially for you idiot camps that you yahs. No, his name is Yahweh. Say his name properly. Say it properly according to the Hebrew. It's not Jesus. The J didn't even exist, you jackass. Or should I say you yak ass? Hey, yak ass. It's not Jesus, it's Yahweh. And this is talking about him. And guess what he's going to do? He's going to smite the corners of Moab. So you ain't lighting up nobody, Moabites. Let me get the book of Psalm chapter 83 verse 5 to find out who the Most High's hit list is. Read.
The book of Psalm chapter 83 verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot, Salah.
So this is the hit list of the Most High God. Edom, Ishmaelites, Moab. You're number 3 on the list, Moab. You're not even more important than Esau. But yet you hold yourself high. You're not even number 1 on the hit list. You're number 3. You're number 3. Let me get the book of Jeremiah chapter 48 verse 42. Read.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 48 verse 42. And Moab shall be destroyed from being a people, because he hath magnified himself against the Lord. Fear and the pit and the snare shall be upon thee, O inhabitant of Moab, saith the Lord.
Do you know that the Moabites and the Ammonites, those are the Japanese, they believe that it is their spiritual destiny to rule over the world. Jeremiah 48 says that you're going to be destroyed from being a people. Does that look like you're going to rule the world? He who created all said that you're going to be destroyed, saith the Lord. And you believe that. Why? Because you're friends with Russia? Here, let me help you out. Let's find out what's going to happen to Russia. Give me the book of Ezekiel chapter 39 verse 6.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 39 verse 6. And I will send a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
So the Lord says, I will send a fire on Magog. Gog and Magog is Russia. And among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, that means the coastlands, and they shall know that I am the Lord. He's going to send a fire to you. Who do you think you are?
The book of Ezekiel chapter 24 verse 2. Son of man, write thee the name of the day. Even of this same day, the king of Babylon set himself against Jerusalem this same day. Verse 6. Wherefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out, piece by piece, let no lot fall upon it. Verse 9. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, woe to the bloody city, I will even make the pile for fire great, Verse 12, she shall weary herself with lies, and her great scum went not forth out of her. Her scum shall be in the fire.
Is it clear, Babylon the Great, the Lord calls you scum? The Son of Man, this is Yahushua. Write thee the name of the day, even of this same day, the king of Babylon. Babylon, this is Babylon the Great. Set himself against Jerusalem this same day. Now, you might be saying, well, America is friends with Israel. We're not talking about the synagogue of Satan. We're not talking about those heathens that are interloping and taking our land right now. No, we're talking about the 12 tribes that are scattered on all four corners of the earth. We are Jerusalem.
God shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
All descendants of slaves from the west coast of Africa that are scattered all over the world are the children of Israel. American blacks, Negroes are from the tribe of Judah. You must obey God's laws.
And you Edomites, Moabites, Ammonites, Hagarenes, you have consulted together against us. So the Lord is going to bring down fire.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 48, verse 46. Woe be unto thee, O Moab! The people of Chemosh perisheth, for thy sons are taken captives, and thy daughters captives. Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days, saith the Lord. Thus far is the judgment of Moab.
Understand this thing, folks. The Lord is going to save his people that are in Moab right now. But it says, woe, that's death and destruction. Woe be unto thee, O Moab, the people of Shemash, which is your fake God, by the way. The Lord is going to put you into captivity. And you know the sad thing about you is the fact that you want to be like Babylon the Great. What is, where is, who is Babylon the Great? The book of Revelation chapter 17 verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Who has influence in every single country on the planet Earth, including Africa, including Israel? America. Babylon the Great. It is Babylon the Great who exalts himself like the eagle. Let me get the book of Obadiah chapter 1 verse 4. Read.
The book of Obadiah chapter 1 verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Now, we've read this scripture. You, America, Edomite, exalt yourself as the eagle. But guess what? The scriptures also say that about the Moabites. You want to be this eagle right here, all on swole, doing flies, sitting in a prison cell, me mugging the camera, and you ask yourself, who's going to bring me down? It's the Lord that's going to bring you down. And see, how do you set yourself up as the eagle? It is you that have space stations, where you have astronauts out there that is above the planet in the lower orbit. It is you that have your satellites. And you know, those satellites, some of those satellites have nuclear armament on them. But that's you. That's you who pretended to go to the moon. That's you. That's you that set up NASA and constantly launching junk into heaven, if you will. That's you who set up Space Force, the biggest joke in the world. Let's start Space Force. You sound like an idiot. So stop being like them Moabites, because Babylon the Great is going down. They will go down by fire, and so will you.
The book of Psalms chapter 137 verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be, that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
So, in this prayer from King David, he's praying to the Lord to remember Edom. But if you guys can remember in Psalms, chapter 83, verse 6, Edom, Ishmaelites, Moabites, these guys are all on the same list. They were all confederate against the Lord to go after the Lord's people. So today, we just reviewed China threatens to destroy America by fire. Not according to the Most High. You are the Lord's washpot. Stay in your lane, know your role, and shut your mouth. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.
Did I say all that like nice, like with sweet lips? Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't cussing nobody out at the same time.